if you crash in a plane, unless you're Travis Barker, of course, you're pretty much brown bread, right? So that's the point. If you have a crash, and as I say, sensitivity 100%. There was an RTA that happened just outside my front door, not just outside, but very close the other day, and it's horrendous, you know. And they happen all the time, but I personally feel that if I'm responsible for the car, I'm aware of all of my surroundings, and I feel safe within that car.
Aware a lot of time, I would have thought.
Yeah. You know, but that's all I'm saying. I just feel like with a plane, again, trigger warning, like, I just feel like, you know, you haven't got much of a chance if the plane doesn't work, right? Sure. And that's why I don't look at the statistics, because it will... And look, I haven't been on a plane since I've been well, so it might be fine. Yeah, because I used to love flying, but equally I don't know. Who knows? I can only know that when I get on a plane. Maybe I'll do a podcast on a plane, Ian. Who knows? Maybe we'll go on holiday and we can do a podcast together on a plane. Who knows? We'll try and get Spotify adverts to pay for it or something like that. Hashtag whacking it out there, Spotify. Just saying. They're already putting adverts on there. They, like, I've sent messages, but anyway, they literally. I put one out this morning and it had an advert on it straight away. Was that what's going on? I'm not getting paid for that.
The algorithm.
Yeah,
the algorithms. I mean, it's scary, really. I've posted. I've direct messaged people and used a specific word and then had adverts pop up afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Now, going back to what we were talking about, things being synchronicities,
yeah,
I would have had a field day with that 10, 15 years ago if I didn't necessarily realise how the algorithms worked.
Oh, yeah.
But now I understand that's how marketeers, once they've got your information, they're able to try and target you. I always get kinky stuff advertised on Wish.
Ian. Do you want to delve into that, Ian? I'm sure the listeners want to hear about your kinky adverts.
I mean, there was one that was like a blow-up stepdaughter with video.
Wow.
And I was like, what the frick?
Yeah, wow.
That's really dodgy.
That is really dodgy.
And I'm no prude, don't get me wrong. I'm no prude. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been to a lot of places.
Do you want to talk about that? I'd love to talk about that. I mean, but we can keep that for another time. We can keep that to... I'll just note that down that I want to ask all the places you've been, please. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, go on, sorry.
No, that's all right. I was just jesting around.
No, but yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sure Spotify will be in contact very soon. You know, that'll be great. Please, Spotify, I'd love to take a call, please. But yeah, no, I mean, all interesting stuff, Ian. There's so much I want to ask, really.
Sure. I mean, I kind of thought about the things that I might end up talking about. We've not covered any of them, and that's not a problem.
Always happens.
I don't feel like I'm busting and I absolutely have to, you know, mention all these things. It's been nice to have a chat.
Yeah.
An organic chat.
100%. I mean, that's what it is for me. Like, this, I know 100% what I want to talk about. And just for the record, just for me and you, because the listeners can see, we're on just over 48 and a half minutes. So we've got just over 11 minutes left. So we've got a good amount of time to talk about this.
What do you want to talk about then?
This is what I really want to talk about. And also, well, firstly, I want to just say, honestly, I would say apart from the intro, and I said this the other day, apart from the intro to the podcast, which you can't have a second one, there's only one, I do believe that every podcast I do is going to be a series. So, for example, the second one I did was with my mate's son, Alfie, and there'll be an Alfie 2, and there'll be a lot of Alfies. I want to see him progress.
Oh, I didn't realise he was your son.
My mate's son.
Oh, sorry, your mate's.
He would be cool to have as a son. He's an absolutely amazing human. Unbelievable. And his dad is an absolute gem as well. And his mum...
sounds more clued up than many adults.
Unbelievable. Like, that was far and above anything I expected. And then the introduction to bipolar, there's going to be another one. I'm doing one soon with someone from bipolar, and there's going to be one about doctors and writings of a suicidal thinker. I've already done 2. Now with Lynn, I've already done 2. But that was what I wanted to talk to you about, because you said, if you don't mind me saying, what we spoke about in your message was, I've done the podcast with Lynn Marie Jackson, and she's done the book about reversing bipolar. That's all I need to say. What would you like to say on that, please, Ian?
Right.
Excuse me.
Interesting. Let me add some context.
That'd be great.
Do it as concisely as possible.
Well, no, I mean, Ian, don't worry, mate. We've got good just under 10 minutes, so you've got.
Okay.
You've got
round about 8 years ago, during the Obama administration, in increments, I started to fall down a conspiracy rabbit hole, and it didn't happen overnight. It happened with, the gateway thing was 9/11 conspiracies, some of which were more wacky than others. And that in turn led me down a rabbit hole which I had no idea at the time I was actually going down. So I was looking at FEMA camps and the possibility that people were going to get rounded up into them, beheaded by these guillotines that there were pictures of and things like that. And it got to the stage where I was starting to not necessarily believe wholesale, but entertain ideas that were effing ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now,
that's all good.
Since then, I have done a U-turn on all of that. I'm very much into fact-checking. I've been doing it for years, and it's a thankless task, because if you tell someone that what they're sharing and provide evidence, whether it be through Snopes or any reputable fact-checking agency, they take it very personally and can get very obsessed about it.
Yeah,
in my experience. Now, personally, the way I look at it, if someone, and it does happen still, someone did the other day about a meme I shared. If someone points out something that I'm sharing which is incorrect or unfactual or is a lie, then they are doing me a favour, because it's the equivalent of me walking around outside with my flies wide open, and someone has just tapped me on the shoulder and told me, and it's given me the opportunity to realise, zip up my flies, not look like an idiot. I don't mind looking like an idiot, but you know what I mean. Now, a lot of the conspiracy theories before recent years were inconsequential. You know, it doesn't really matter whether a quote necessarily is right or wrong. You know, quotes quite often get attributed to the wrong people. And it has no impact in society as a whole. COVID and what's happening is ridiculous. Some of the stuff out there, and I've lost friends to it because I've tried to tell them, and they've ended up with their friends piling on or whatnot and getting personal and whatnot. But it's really, really dangerous. I know more than many, because my mum died of COVID in the COVID ward of Peterborough City Hospital on the evening of Christmas Day last year. So I've been railing against disinformation for years anyway, and was irritated by it. I mean, the COVID things puts things into context, really, because looking at people like flat earthers now, I'd want to hug them, because what they think doesn't matter. It's not killing people, having adverse effects on their welfare, their physical and mental health. I just kind of got inklings from Lynn's interview that some of the things that she was talking about I didn't sit well with me. They're not things that I know to be true. I'm never convinced when people say, "Oh, that's it, I'm cured."
I agree.
Because
yeah.
I find it impossible to disconnect my bipolarity from my personality and my interests. Throughout my whole life, I think my interests have been influenced by my bipolarity. I keep tarantulas, praying mantises, assassin bugs, giant centipedes, the kind of thing that most people run away from. I run towards because they fascinate me, and I keep them. Some of them are dangerous, not many actually. They're perceived to be dangerous, but they're not. But that's just when I was in my teens.
What, live ones, Ian?
Sorry?
Live ones?
Oh yeah, live ones.
I mean,
breed them.
For the record, listeners can't see this, but if Ian's okay with that, after this podcast, I would literally love to see them.
Oh, I'll get my biggest tarantula out.
Yes.
She's huge.
It's really annoying that you can't see this, guys, but maybe I can take... Maybe the picture of the podcast is the tarantula, if you're happy with that.
To
you.
I mean,
We can...
I've got Listen, I've got absolutely no problem, but it's a trigger thing with some people. I mean, there are actually a couple of friends on my friends list, and they're so triggered by spiders, I tag them out whenever I post pictures, because I'm a keen photographer. I'm a keen amateur photographer. It complements all my other interests, which there are many, really. So I have to be careful about what I put where, really. Even if
totally agreed, and I think that's why I'm so spot on and try to be as sensitive as I possibly can about anything that we talk about as well. I just want to pick up something on Lynn, because I feel like Lynn is becoming a bit of a friend of mine, and it's not to defend her at all, Ian. I totally agree, and there's someone there, and I'll explain that to the finest point I can. There's someone very close to me who has your exact thought processes, and says, because this person comes from a neuroscience background from a very, very established university in America, and one of the top 8, put it that way, and essentially she's the same, and she's worried that what I'm putting out could possibly be, it's misinformation. But that's the point, Ian. Like, I didn't know who you were, I don't know what your credentials were. Essentially what I say, I know I said, look, if you don't like it, I won't put it out, which still stays the same.
That's very fair.
But my thing is, once I press that button, I've got what I need to know in the first little bit of meeting you. If you were some horrible person,
I mean, there's the whole Joe Rogan thing recently about the anti-vax sentiment that he's put out, and he's not a hardline anti-vax by any means, but he was throwing out things which should easily be construed as anti-vax, and he has such a big following, it could potentially make a big impact.
Massively, 100%.
Whether that was his attention or not.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, Ian. Realistically, sorry to interrupt.
I appreciate it.
But in a positive way. I have my opinions on COVID as much as you do, and as much as every man, woman, and their dog does, 100%. But I'm not going to push that narrative. That's not mine to push.
Another aspect of the Lynn thing was the medication. Now, I choose to take medication. I take lithium, which means I have to have regular blood tests because it's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I was joking about it with one of my psychiatrists, who told me that one of her previous patients had inadvertently taken an overdose of lithium and is now permanently brain damaged.
Yeah.
So I'd stopped giggling like an idiot at that point, because it's very serious. But now I know that there are pluses and there are negatives when it comes to medication. I choose to take it because since I've never been as badly depressed as I was at my very, very worst, and I would rather not take the risk because it was horrific.
I think being depressed is far more dangerous. Again, like I need to stop myself. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that opinion 100%. And again, just to follow it up, that's from Ian's mouth and that's from Ian's experience. I hope you don't mind me saying that. That's not from a doctor's perspective. And
I
whatever.
wouldn't have it any other way.
You're
very fair.
I'm very open to medication, the talk of medication again, but I'm not going to talk about the science of medication or the effects or anything like that until I've got a doctor present, essentially, everyone should.
And a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. All calls and video conferences are recorded, and but no, it is like, that's the point. I think I'm so open to it. You know, and look, at the end of the day, I want to stop suffering. So if someone has to take medication and it stops their suffering, then, like, go ahead. Do you know what I mean? You don't even need to know where I stand on medication and whether I take I'm not medicated, for the record, but, yeah.
I mean, it's ever so complex, because I'm by no means a fan of Big Pharma whatsoever.
No,
very, very problematic. But people seem to misnuance a lot these days. They see things in terms of right, wrong, black or white, and life's not that simple.
Everyone's different, and everyone reacts to so many different things in different ways. And sorry to interrupt, Ian, but we've got 40 seconds, so we'll keep talking 100%. But I just wanted to say to you, is there anything else that you want to say? We've got 30 seconds.
No, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. It's been cathartic. It's great. Thank you.
Amazing. Well, look, it was amazing to meet you, and hopefully, if you're happy, we'll definitely do this again. We'll make it more of a regular thing.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Amazing. So look, guys, Ian Timmings, what an amazing human. Thank you so much for coming on.
It depends who you are.
Well, exactly, but it depends who you are with me as well. No one who...
My enemies.
Yeah. Anyway, Keep smiling, guys. Stay good. Have an amazing day, and take lots of care.